good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing? Friends of Wealthy with you, Friends of Wealth Wednesday. We hope you're keeping well. We hope you continue to implement the lessons learned, and we hope that now you can see some transformation ahead of you. We would really love to hear from you. Give us feedback. What's working? What's not working? How would you like us to help you? So the last session of Wealth Wednesday, we looked at the revised NSSF rates, and I hope that out of the 3 key takeouts, you have either gone back to your employer or wherever it is that your pension scheme is run, and at least now you know how much is it that you have in your pension. What was the interest that was declared for 2022? Because almost all pension scheme managers have already now done their audit. They've already declared a return. So how much did you get from your pension scheme manager? We hope you've done that. If probably you didn't have a pension scheme, you're in business, you're self-employed, so NSSF revised rates doesn't apply to you, probably you're already considering setting up your own personal pension. Remember, we said that a pension is one way of saving you from yourself. Putting away something probably looks like it's forced, but that is what is going to help you in the long term. And we even looked at figures in perspective. If you put aside 720 every month, how much is it that you are likely to walk out with at the end of 30 years? And you can download the compound interest calculator. It's easy. Put it on your phone, keep playing around with the figures, and it will show you what to expect going forward. So in line with that thought, today we would like us to address the subject that we call paying yourself first. Pay yourself first. So whenever we do trainings in personal finance planning, and we tell people that you have to be selfish, you have to think about loving yourself in accordance to the Word of God in the book of Mark, chapter 12. The Word of God says that, verse 30, you will love, the first commandment is that you love your God with all your heart. And then verse 31 says, then you will love your neighbor as you love yourself. Meaning, it's impossible to love God if you don't love yourself. It's impossible to love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. So in applying this verse to our personal finances, we like to say that you need to pay yourself first. And every time when we talk to people about paying themselves first, there's always that initial reaction. What do you mean pay myself first? I mean, all my money, what I earn is mine. So what do you mean I should pay myself first? And we like to address that by looking at who are the cashiers that are waiting for your money. Who are those people that you give priority in paying before you pay yourself? So look at your earnings. If you get your salary and you're doing your budget, what is on the priority of your budget? Or even if you don't intentionally do a budget, what are your priority spending? Number 1, the government will take away their tax. So that's your cashier, number 1, tax. Sometimes if you have a pay slip, that money doesn't even go to your account. The government takes it even before. You just look at your pay slip, on top there you see gross and then you see tax. The government cannot trust you to get your money and then pay tax. The money is taken up front. So your first cashier is the government. If you're those people who pay tithe, then that's your next cashier. It is the tithe from your budget. Then from there, the next one, if you're renting a house, the next budget item will always be rent, because if you don't pay rent, the landlord is going to lock up your house. Where are you going to sleep? So the third person in terms of priority, or the third cashier in terms of priority, will normally be your rent. Then from there, probably you have children, or you have people that you pay school fees for. It takes the fourth priority. That's now the fourth cashier, school fees. Either it's school fees for your children or school fees for your own self. Maybe you're in school, things like that. So school fees, fourth cashier. Fifth cashier is your own upkeep. You must eat. You must pay transport, fuel your car, pay the matatu, pay the Uber, buy food, upkeep. You must set aside a budget for that. Then probably entertainment. I mean, once in a while, you like to do some entertainment. You'll like to go out with friends, entertain yourself, and thank yourself. In fact, that cashier called entertainment, a lot of people tell me that's how I pay myself. When I make some money, I have paid my rent, I've looked at all my financial obligations, then I need to go out and entertain myself, or buy myself a nice dress, or treat myself to this and the other. That is how I pay myself. So looking or putting into perspective all those people that you're paying, at the end of the day, how are you going to ever reap from those people that you have paid? If it's the government goes and invests. All the money just disappears through those loopholes that we know with our government, and it's really not our responsibility. There's nothing really that you will ever get back from that. You pay your landlord, you pay your school fees. The landlord continues to build more rental houses. The landlord continues to make more money. If you have stayed in a house where you're paying 20,000 shillings every month, at the end of the year, that's 240,000. That is enough for your landlord to start considering expanding their projects of rental houses. But for you, you are still a tenant in that house. Even if you leave, you'll go somewhere else and have to rent. Look at the money for upkeep. If it is the amount of money that you spend on fuel or on transport, again, there's nothing that will ever come back to you. So what are we saying in terms of paying yourself first? We are saying that your future, that investment for your future, whether it's investment into the pension scheme, NSSF, or your whatever other pension, or that amount that you're saving, so that tomorrow you can invest in a project that gives you a passive income. That is what we call paying yourself first. And as a rule of thumb, what we normally say is, out of every 100 shillings that lands into your pocket, you must put aside at least 20% of your earnings. If it's 100 shillings, 20% of that is 20 shillings must go to a savings, and that saving must be for the intention of investment. Not a saving for emergency, not a saving because you want to buy a car tomorrow, not a saving because you want to upgrade your house tomorrow. A saving because you want to create investment that can give you a passive income. Rule of thumb is, out of every 10 shillings, 20% or 2 shillings should be kept away as the amount that you're paying yourself first. And in terms of priority, then that amount needs to be on top there. As you're considering how much the government has taken in tax, how much is going to tithe, then your 20% needs to be on top there. So after the government has taken tax, after, if you're the people that, if you're of the Christian faith and you need to pay tithes, after you have paid your tithe, then the next thing on that list should be pay the amount that I'm paying myself first. So that 20% needs to be on top there. All these other cashiers, your rent, your school fees, your upkeep, everything else needs to take what remains after you have paid yourself first. So friends, what are we saying? We are saying that if we are ever going to make it, if we are ever going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, you must understand that if God gives you 10 shillings, He has packaged inside that 10 shillings the element for food and the element for seed. And that seed is the saving that you do for investment. Now it's up to you to make the choice whether you will eat everything and then you continue praying God for financial breakthrough, or you are going to love yourself, the way you love your landlord, the way you love the school where your children go to, the way you love all those cashiers that we think or we consider as priority. It is up to you to decide that I will love myself first so that I'm able to love the others. And therefore, that element of saving, whether I am earning a lot of money or I am earning very little money, then I'm going to be intentional about putting aside the 20%. Where have we taken out the 20% from? Read the story of Joseph in the Bible. When Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream, he told Pharaoh that 1/5 of the harvest during the productive years must be kept aside. That 1/5 is what we are calling 20%. It is what ended up saving Egypt during the famine. And therefore, even for you, if you're going to ever see the light at the end of the tunnel, then you must begin by loving yourself as much as you love the others. Pay yourself first. So when you do your budget, pay myself first becomes priority, then all the other cashiers, they follow. So there you are. Let's go implement this lesson. And then we can talk maybe in the month of June or in the month of July, and we will see where you are with your paying yourself first. We will be able to see what is it that you've been able to achieve, and then we can start addressing the subject of, Lucy, I've paid myself, now I have a seed, where should I go and invest? So that's our lesson for today, and we hope that you continue to enjoy. We hope that it continues to sharpen you, and if this is the case, then I am inviting you to then subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your friends and your relatives about our YouTube channel. These lessons, I believe, especially the young ones who are just starting to earn, if you get to learn these lessons and put them into practice, just one bit, step at a time, then this is how our lives are going to get transformed. So I wish you all the best in your endeavors to transform your personal finances into financial freedom. And until next week, I wish you all the best.